What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. And welcome back to another review for the 31 Days of Horror Challenge in October. Now, I believe we are on day 12, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I believe we're on day 12. Wow. Now that we are on this review for the Horror Challenge, I figured I'd talk about one of those underrated gems, in my opinion. I'd probably say, like, in the past 20 years from 2000 to now, I'd probably say this is one of the more underrated and overlooked slashers. And I think it's definitely one of my personal favorites in the past 20 years. I mean, I really do enjoy this movie a lot. And it's probably a slasher that not many people probably even know about. And if you have not heard of this, I would highly recommend you give this a look if you're a big fan of, like, 80s throwbacks and things like that. But if you can tell by the title already, that review is going to be on The Tripper. Sex, Drugs, and Rockin' Ronnie. But The Tripper was a film that was, excuse me, released around 2007, directed by David Arquette. Yep, Deputy Dewey himself from the Scream films directed this. David Arquette. Not only did he direct it, but he also produced it, along with Courtney Cox at that time. Thomas Jane's also one of the stars, and he was actually one of the executive producers. And it was also, I think, written by David Arquette. I believe it was written by him. Yeah, it was produced, written, and directed by David Arquette, and he has a role in this as well. And I really wish David Arquette would do more films like this. I don't really know what David Arquette really directed after this, or even before this. It's like the only film I knew that he directed. And I think he did a really good job, like, doing a 80s throwback slasher. Now, the basic idea with the film is that it takes place in, like, the woods areas where you have a bunch of young people. These people going to, like, a Woodstock type of, like, concert that's being there's like a little festival going on, and it's headed by Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman himself. And, you know, they're going out there, you know, to do drugs and, you know, things like that. And while they're out there, there is a serial killer out there who's dressed in a Ronald Reagan outfit with the mask and the suit, and he has an axe. And he starts killing people one by one out there in the woods. Now, I tell you what, this cast is so cool. You have a really cool cast of people. I mean, you have not only David Arquette in a role, but some of the people that you have, like, as, like, the kids, like the young adults that go out there. You have Lukas Haas as one of the stars. He was the little kid in Witness. He was in While She Was Out. That's a really underrated one with Kim Basinger. And Lukas Haas has been in a lot of other stuff too. You also have Jamie King from the remake of My Bloody Valentine. I think she was in White Chicks. She's one of the other ones as well. You also have Paz de la Huerta as one of the other people. You also have Jason Mewes. Jay himself from Jay and Silent Bob in the Kevin Smith universe, The View Askew. Yeah, Jason Mewes is the van driver. Like I said, you have Paul Reubens as the guy who runs, like, the Woodstock Festival. You have Thomas Jane as the main cop, which is always cool to see Thomas Jane in a movie. I'm a big fan of Thomas Jane. I mean, the cast is great. I mean, you have David Arquette, Richmond Arquette, Paz de la Huerta, Balthazar Getty, Lukas Haas, Thomas Jane, Jamie King, Jason Mewes, Paul Reubens. So you have a pretty good cast of people. And what I really do enjoy about this film is it's a very unique slasher. I mean, having a killer in a Ronald Reagan costume with an axe. And I'll tell you what, too, the gore effects in here are very, very well done. A lot of practical effects. And like I said, that's why I say it's a really good throwback to 80s slasher movies. I think David Arquette really hit the nail on the... I think I gotta sneeze. Oh, God. God. Damn it, I can't sneeze. Gotta look at the light. But, and, you know, I mean, and I'm not gonna say, like, I mean, the kills are pretty... there's some unique kills here and there, but, like, a lot of them were with the axe. And when people do get killed, it's really gory. I mean, it's the uncut version. This is an uncut movie. And I think it was one of the few, like, I want to say it was like one of the After Dark horror films, but they didn't really advertise it as an After Dark horror film. But I really do think this is like the rebirth of like 80s slashers. I know people say like Hatchet might be. I mean, I like Hatchet, but I feel like this might be even more of a rebirth of 80s slashers than Hatchet. Because I just love the way that David Arquette directed this and the idea that he came up with. And you even get a little bit of a backstory with the killer. I'm not going to get into like the spoilers with that, but you do a little bit of a backstory with the killer. And like I said before, the gore effects are great, and the musical score is really good too. You really do feel like it's an 80s movie. And it was just really cool to see this cast of people, like Jason Mewes and Paul Reubens and Thomas Jane and Lucas Haas. I mean, even David Arquette in a small role. It was just really cool to see, this cast of people together. It was just really cool to see these people together for a movie. And I do think it's the true definition of rebirth of 80s slasher movies. I really do. I mean, that's a really badass cover. And like I said before, too, the kills in here are pretty... You can pretty much guess how they go, like with the axe and all that stuff. So it's pretty bloody, and it's very uncut as well. And, it was just really fun to see Jason Mewes in a different kind of role. I'm a big Jason Mewes fan. Cool to see Paul Reubens outside of the Pee Wee Herman character, so that was fun to see. Like I said, Thomas Jane playing a cop. It was just really cool to see Thomas Jane. And even Courtney Cox has a small role in this as well, because she was one of the producers on this with David Arquette. And, I mean, overall, like, if you really do enjoy those, like, 80s slashers and you want to see a really, really good throwback to those kind of movies, I would definitely recommend you give this a look. Definitely give The Tripper a look. And it's a pretty good DVD as well, behind the scenes. You have a commentary track on here with David Arquette, Richmond Arquette, Paul Reubens, and Thomas Jane. Pretty good commentary track. And a lot of other features, deleted scenes, bloopers. But yeah. But that killer look is so badass, and that Ronald Reagan outfit, things like that. But I think it's a pretty unique look for a killer. Because you have like a hockey mask and Michael Myers mask, but this one's like a Ronald Reagan mask, which I think is really unique. And I think that's what I think David Arquette really did nail a lot of the 80s aspects of slashers in this film. But I'm not going to spoil too much more about The Tripper, but if you like those old school 80s throwback slasher movies, then it's definitely right up your alley, and I would highly recommend you give it a look. So that is pretty much it for my review for The Tripper. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.